So Shields is out of town, so I'm Tom Downey subbing in for today's video. We have breaking news, and probably not good news, on the Bengals. The Bengals have granted Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade this offseason from the organization, which is a bad sign for the Bengals and their defense overall. Here's what ESPN's Adam Schefter, who broke the news not long ago, reported. The Bengals have taken the rare step of granting All-Pro defensive end Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade. It's been an honor and a privilege to represent Cincinnati the last 4 years. Hendrickson, the NFL sack leader. I love the city and the organization. I appreciate the privilege of now being allowed to explore my options. We'll spend the next, 8, 9, 10 minutes, whatever it is, reacting to this news. But what is your one-word reaction to the Trey Hendrickson news for the Cincinnati Bengals? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. I mentioned one, bad. I don't think this is good news at all. We'll get into some, hopium angles, the trade value there. It's not the first time this has happened. Hendrickson did request a trade last year, but this is not good. Getting permission to seek a trade is the step before a trade actually happens. Now, I think a big part of this is Hendrickson is not getting the contract offer from the Bengals that he wants. That he hasn't had the type of offer he wants from the Bengals. He didn't get one last year. He got a minor adjustment. Didn't get the stuff that he wants there previously. Now he's looking for another extension and more money as well. Again, he requested the trade before the NFL draft last year. Didn't end up getting the trade. Didn't go there. He has $16 million guaranteed, non-guaranteed money on his contract. That's not a lot. And Maxx Crosby, as we'll get into, just got paid by the Raiders. He is also a third contract player. Now, Hendrickson's still a little bit older than Maxx Crosby, and I don't think is as good, no offense to Trey, who I love, I think is an underrated easy top 10 edge rusher in the NFL. All of those things worry me a little bit. Now, look, there's no guarantee a trade ends up happening for the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe Hendrickson doesn't get the type of interest he's hoping to get on the open market. That's a possibility. But I think there's going to be interest. Jordan Schultz immediately linking the Commanders as a potential destination. But this just feels like the precursor to we're trading away Trey Hendrickson. And I get they're prioritizing deals for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Don't sit there and tell me that you can't afford Trey too when I'm watching teams like the Eagles spend all this more money in cash than you are. I refuse to buy that as an option. So predictions. Do you think the Bengals will trade Trey Hendrickson? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comment section of today's with the pinned comment. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Hendrickson has been awesome with the Bengals. I'll be honest. I didn't love letting Carl Lawson leave and adding Hendrickson. I thought that was a misjudgment by the Bengals. I was wrong. He has been one of the best passers in football. Year in, year out for the Bengals. The one reliable pass rusher that this team has under contract, that they can truly trust. And this has the downside of going the way that, the Jesse Bates mismanagement did. Or they have invested in picks. They have invested in guys like Myles Murphy and Joseph Ossai and other key pieces to the defense. They've spent a lot of day 1 and day 2 draft picks to potentially replace guys if they leave. And now they're staring down the barrel of losing Hendrickson by their own choice. It would be brutal to lose Hendrickson. This is a special pass rusher. And frankly, I think this is a bad sign for the Bengals offseason. I get you want to prioritize Chase and you want to get T done. Awesome. That should all happen. You have cash available. You're going to move on from Jermaine Pratt. Sam Hubbard's retiring. You're not paying anybody on this team right now on defense. Like, we can all go look at what some of these big contracts are right now for the Bengals. Obviously, Joe Burrow is a massive one. You're paying Logan Wilson. I get that. And you're paying Orlando Brown. But beyond that, you're not Geno Stone at like $8 million is your next big deal? Come on. The Eagles are paying like 12 guys $9+ million per year. You've got 6 right now, or 5 right now, and that's before you potentially move on from Hendrickson. So you're not going to be able to find a player with the draft pick you get back for Hendrickson that's good enough. That is as good as Hendrickson. The odds of that are astronomically low. You have Joe Burrow under contract. Why wouldn't I be all in right now? And I get that maybe there's cash flow issues in Cincinnati. That's an excuse. That's not a reason. You're an NFL owner. Throw the money around. Now, we'll have more Bengals videos with host Stone Shields. I'm just subbing in since he is out of town this weekend. Hit that sub button for more free Bengals videos, including consistent free agency updates right here on the channel, youtube.com/BengalsTV. The money is a big factor here. I really think that, maybe not so much for like a Myles Garrett extension or an Aiden Hutchinson extension or a Micah Parsons extension. I do think the Maxx Crosby extension was a negative for the Bengals and for Trey Hendrickson's side of it. I don't think the Bengals want to pay him $30 million per year. But there's a pretty big gap between Nick Bosa and Josh Hines-Allen. The edge market has changed, and Crosby getting $35.5 and kind of a unique deal, by the way, with the first 2 years of the extension basically guaranteed at around $69 million, plus a good portion of the following year guaranteed. That's interesting to me. And I don't think Trey's going to find $35 million on the trade market. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he can find 30-ish, though. And that would be maybe too much for what the Bengals' self-imposed limits are. The guaranteed money is also massive in this conversation. Crosby did not beat out Myles Garrett nor Nick Bosa in terms of the guaranteed money. The Bengals don't love guaranteeing, outside of exceptions, like a Joe Burrow, a lot of guaranteed money into year 2. That's not something that they like to do, which unfortunately is an antiquated philosophy. The NFL salary cap has gone up by so much. You just have to do that. You have to guarantee money into year 2, and at times into year 3. That is the reality of the football universe that we live in. So if the Bengals don't want to do that kind of stuff, they're going to keep running into these issues with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, with Jesse Bates, with Hendrickson, of your self-imposed limits are going to cause issues when it comes time for guys to get paid. Now, what is the most that you would pay Trey Hendrickson per year? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. What is the most you'd pay Hendrickson per season? Sound off for me. Where else? The comment section of today's show. Look, the Bengals are, I think, kind of in dire straits on defense if they actually trade Hendrickson and don't get, I don't know if they're going to get a first-round pick back. I think a second-round pick is pretty reasonable at his age and contract status, having to get paid, which doesn't make me feel any better about it. But right now, your edge room is Myles Murphy and Isaiah Thomas and Cedric Johnson, because Joseph Tsai, Cam Sample are all free agents. So, yeah, cool, Myles Murphy's one, but you got other pretty big needs. And I guess Raymond Johnson's there too. Okay. They'll probably move on from Jermaine Pratt. So, number 2 linebacker is a need. Mike Hilton's a free agent. Corner is still a need with, I just think, uncertain futures for Dax Hill and DJ Turner and Cam Taylor-Britt. They've pumped draft picks into that side of the ball. It hasn't worked enough. So if I were the Bengals, I would simply, I have the funds. When I have the cap space available, the Bengals right now have like $50 million in cap space. Hendrickson and Chase deals wouldn't really impact the cap, and the Higgins one would drop it at least. I can make it work if I want to. The fact that they don't really seem to want to is really concerning as we move forward this offseason.